Ladies and gentlemen, we are back for another episode of the March of Silva MMA show, and I'm kicking it off for playing with the wrong intro. You know how we do. We're still learning. Here we are. But Oscar, firstly, how are you?
I'm good. Unfortunately, there's no UFC this Saturday, but the weekend after, we have a fantastic pay-per-view. You can see it right behind me. But in the meantime, we'll be recapping UFC Vegas 92, Barboza versus Murphy. This was a very unique night in many ways, and I think it's worth glossing over.
Yeah, 100%. We had some really good fights the past week as well. Obviously, Fury and Ngannou went down this last weekend. Just gone. Fury and Ngannou. Fury Usyk. I'm stuck in the past. Fury Usyk went down in the last weekend. We'll talk about that because obviously that was a fantastic fight. Can't wait to talk about it. But obviously, as you mentioned, LERONE Murphy versus Edson Barboza. Let's get straight into that as well. Main event, Oscar. LERONE Murphy getting the better of Edson Barboza. Completely not what I predicted last weekend. I thought the experience and being on the big stages of Edson Barboza would be way too much, and I was way too wrong.
For me, this was a sign that Barboza is definitely aging. He's about 37 now, and LERONE Murphy is coming into his own. And this was the best I've ever seen him look. And this is what I like to see out of up-and-comers like LERONE. As he faces the harder competition, he elevates his game along with that competition. That's what he did here. We have never seen him in a 5-round fight, and he looked at home in there. He really wasn't all that tired. Edson Barboza was the one that was very tired, especially after round one. Round one was a round where he did all right, and then eventually he lands this insane upkick, and it appeared that LERONE Murphy may have gotten knocked out for a split second there, but he woke up on top of Edson.
Oh, I'm not too sure if we lost Oscar there.
I really thought that Barboza showcased incredible toughness, and he would not go away. There's been some times where we see him get finished here, but he refused to get put away. LERONE Murphy continued the pace. The volume was high all night, and he was mainly headhunting, and Barboza was in a world of trouble this whole fight. I'm surprised the fight wasn't stopped. I think it was round 3, but Barboza's just too tough, and LERONE is now a top 10 contender at featherweight.
Yeah, 100%. He deserves to be there. Exactly what you mentioned there. Top 10. I would love to see him against Calvin Kattar, as you mentioned before we went live. Calvin Kattar, someone like that, a good striking battle like what we've seen here again. I feel like, fight tonight, they got it. It was justified. So, yeah, we'd definitely love to see that go down. Calvin Kattar, LERONE Murphy. That would be a phenomenal fight on the feet as long as it lasts. Good win for LERONE Murphy. As you mentioned there, he moves up to top 10. It's getting great for him now. It's getting good. He'll get the better matches. And I feel like this is where he deserves to be. Obviously, he's called the miracle, etc. Obviously, what happened to him, he got a shot in the head. And he keeps improving. He keeps improving fight by fight. He's looking great. And I'm just excited to see where LERONE Murphy can go next. Hopefully, it will be Manchester. I feel like he would love that turnaround. Obviously, it's very, very close to home. Being born in Manchester, I think it makes all the sense in the world to try and get him on that card. But yeah, looking forward to that one. I'm interested to see what's next for LERONE Murphy. Absolutely 100%. And we'll talk about the co-main event in the evening. Round 1, all it took was Chaos Williams to knock out Carson Harris. It seems like we can't really trust Harris and his chin. I think that's the point there.
And he also had a really bad game plan, if you ask me. He came in quite reckless against Chaos Williams, who's known for his one-punch knockout power, and he paid the price for it. Chaos Williams continues to show that he has the power to knock out basically anybody in the division. I think he's ready for ranked competition, if you ask me. There's a lot of fights where he's, even where he's lost, where he's still really in the fight, like the Michel Pereira fight. You could argue he won. That was a very close fight, and we know how good Michel is. So Chaos Williams has the skill set to compete with the best in the division because of that punching power.
Absolutely, he's dangerous at every second of the fight. Completely agree. Maybe a ranking opponent, maybe just outside the 15 or top 15, 15 to 10. That would make sense for him. Next, 100% agree. Next one, Temba Greenbow got the unanimous decision versus Ramos-Brahimaj. This one, it was close. Obviously, I think it was 29-28, I believe, on the scorecards. But yeah, Greenbow got the job done. Impressed with his performance there, Oscar.
Garimbo admitted that this was a boring fight, and I completely agree with him. There was really nothing to like here, except Garimbo showing off that he can defend takedowns against Ramiz-Brahimaj, who I'm not high on at all. Garimbo, I feel like he's got to take a step up if he's really confident about his chances of getting into the top 15, because against Ramiz-Brahimaj, we're really not learning a lot. And this fight was very boring, so there's not much else to add.
Yeah, 100%. But there's a lot to add in the next one. That's Adrian. I saw how to pronounce it on the commentary booth, but I forgot. Oscar, please remind me how to say his second name again.
Can you repeat that? I was distracted for a second.
Okay, so Adrian Yanez. That's how I pronounce it. But how do you pronounce it? Because you pronounced it last week differently. How do you pronounce it correctly?
Yeah. So he's using the Spanish version, which is Yanez. With the little circle over the N. It's a little Spanish thing. He just changed it out of the blue. But hey, he can have whatever name he wants if he fights like this. He destroyed Vinicius Salvador. Salvador is a guy that was flyweight, and it looked like that in there when it came to punching power. Yanez had a lot of confidence in there, throwing big, and he landed. And this is the Yanez that we were used to, the guy that would go out there and have these spectacular performances. He just came up short against some really tough ranked guys. And I think maybe we should give him another one of these mid-level guys that he can just destroy just to get his confidence back up.
Yeah, this is one of the performances that Yanez, you see what I've done there, needed. He needed to get a knockout win, back to winning ways against Vinicius Salvador. Who, I didn't think was a credible opponent, but he got that chance to get back to winning ways, and he did. Most importantly, that was the game plan. Well, that was probably the objective anyway. Get back to winning ways. Like it is with every fight anyway. But you know what I mean. I'm talking too much. But yeah, next fight as well. I would love to see him. Same level. Maybe hopefully get another knockout. And just kind of build that confidence back up, as you just said there, and maybe have another push at the top 15 and see where he goes from there. Because he's got the talent, he's got the ability to knock people out like he's showcased here, but he's got to do it when it matters the most, and that's when it gets to the top 15. And I feel like he's just got to build that confidence up once more to give that challenge next. Next one, Angela Hill versus Lorena Pahino. Angela Hill gets the job done by submission, mounted guillotine choke in round number 2. Angela Hill, man, I think she's phenomenal. One of the most active female fighters in MMA, 17-13. Might not have the best record, but she's game. She will fight anyone and anywhere. And I feel like sometimes she does put on a good fight, an exciting fight. This time she gets the submission victory. The thing is with Angela Hill, she's always going to be there or in about the top 15, top 10. But when it gets to them top girls, she'll always lose. So yeah, I'm good to see Angela Hill still, still kicking about inside the UFC and MMA. I think like she's a great gatekeeper for the UFC to have at 115-pound division.
This for me was my favorite moment of the night because I really did not expect it whatsoever. Angela Hill has always been known as a Muay Thai striker, so to see her tap out a judo black belt like that was completely unexpected. The guillotine was phenomenal by Angela Hill. It's obvious that in these camps where she's prepared to take on grapplers, she has developed an offensive game of her own, and she put it to use here. Her first submission win, period. Never even tapped girls out on the regional scene. So for her to do it to Luana, who's got a good record, was downright impressive. Angela Hill, sure, she may be on the older side, but she just earned herself a spot in the top 10. So who knows how far she can go? We've seen her stumble before, but if we're being real, a lot of those fights could have gone her way. They were very close fights, and she can still hang with some of these young girls, and she's shown it more than once. She beat Lupi Godinez, she beat Denise Gomes, now she beats Luana Pierre. So she has a phenomenal job as a gatekeeper in this division, and she's winning against these prospects.
Yeah, 2 win streak now. After losing to Mackenzie Dern, as you mentioned there, she beats Denise Gomes and Luina Panhira. So yeah, a 2 fight win streak. She's looking good. Let's see where she goes from here. Next one, the Australian Tom Nolan needed a bounce back victory after his debut, a shocking debut, getting knocked out, getting starched in his debut. It wasn't great. Within a minute or just over a minute against Nicholas Mota, he beats Victor Martinez in the first round via knee and then the ground strikes, suddenly and ended the fight. He needed this one, didn't he, Tom Nolan? A big one. After the debut, he was hyped a lot, getting knocked out like that. He was still a massive favorite in this one, so that I feel like showcases the hype and maybe the talent that he has behind him. But we saw a little bit in this, but I feel like this was the fight that he was meant to win.
Yeah, for me, I was very confident in Tom Nolan getting this done very early with a knee, and that's what he did. Victor Martinez still brought the fight. He was able to score a knockdown and bloody up Tom Nolan. But Victor Martinez is not a durable fighter whatsoever, even though his nickname is the Brick. The guy is very soft, and Tom Nolan put him away quite easily. He's a huge lightweight. I do think he needs to work on that defense because in his 2 UFC fights, he's gotten dropped twice. So has to work on the defense. And once he refines that defense, he's going to be a lot more dangerous, and he can be a Jalen Turner type if he really elevates his skill set.
Yeah, and I believe Tom Nolan's already booked UFC 305.
He is, yeah, coming up in Australia in Perth.
Yeah. So a bit of a quick turnaround to get booked anyway. But yeah, good to see him fighting in Perth. That will be against Alex Reyes, the guy who once upon a time fought Mike Perry, then came back to fought Charlie Campbell. A good step up. He's fought a little bit of decent competition, but still feel like a fight he should win though. I feel like that was a fight that he should win and look good. Next one, Umar Sy against Tuko Tokos. This one, I said last week, I thought Umar Sy was going to knock out Tokos in round 1. He submitted him in round 1 instead. This guy's pretty special, isn't he? 10-0, French prospect. Yeah, I think that's it. He's got a lot of submission victories, a lot of knockouts. He's a finisher. He's an artist. Thoughts on Umar Sy and obviously his performance this weekend, or just gone?
I think we have a legitimate French prospect on our hands. This is the best guy coming out of France. It's like Cyril Gane, if you ask me. We never see these big light heavyweights come in with a grappling heavy style. They're usually coming in with just looking to brawl. That's 90% of light heavyweights, and Umar Sy really stands out to me. Of course, his opponent Tuko Tokos is not a high level guy, so it's not like I learned much here. But at the end of the day, when you have a guy with that grappling style, he's going to give guys problems in this division that prefer to strike. And he's also appears to be quite athletic and really good shape, cut up. I like his prospects of climbing the rankings. He's only 10-0, but it really tells me that against some of these one-dimensional strikers, he's going to excel.
Yeah, 100%. Expect to see him on the UFC Paris event, probably going down this year. 100%. A great prospect. Yeah. September, as you mentioned there. Yeah, September. A great, fantastic win for Umar Sy. And next one, Melissa Gatto getting the win against Tariers Vidal. This one, bit of an awkward one. Vidal protested that she got punched in her woman part, in her boobs. Yeah, and that's the fight got stopped. Thoughts on that, Oscar? What can we really take away from that finish?
This shows me that Melissa Gatto can do well at any weight class. She has an excellent skill set. She started out as more of a one-dimensional Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu player, but now she's elevated her striking. She was able to finish Sajar Eubanks in round 3 with a teep kick to the body. Now she finishes Tamiris Vidal with a breast punch in round 3. She's mean. She's dangerous, and I'm a big fan of her. I help her break her fights on Instagram, and she really is worthy of some hype. I think this is not even her real division. She should go back to flyweight, and she can continue to climb the ranks there.
Yeah, 100% agree. Next one, Abus Magomedov gets back to winning. Well, I say back. I think he got back to winning ways. Anyway, but he got the win against Alves. Yeah, back to winning ways after losing to Shaw Strickland and Kyle O'Hara. He beats Wiley Alvarez. Unanimous decision, pretty dominant. I feel like Alvarez pretty had no answer.
Abus Magomedov did the opposite of what we thought he would. Sure, he's got that Magomedov name, but we know the guy's not necessarily a grappler. He loves to kickbox, and he's very lethal when he's doing it. He paced up Sean Strickland for a round. But in this fight, it appears that he has adjusted his style to the opponent that he's facing. And now with that style, he can pace himself and he can fight for 3 rounds when he's not really going up against much adversity. And he bullied Alves, who is really a welterweight, and he tossed him around, did whatever he wanted, really maintained control. This was not an exciting fight, but if you're an Abus Magomedov fan, it's kind of exciting seeing that he's got a new wrinkle in his game, and he can for sure do this to a lot of guys at middleweight.
Absolutely agree. Next one, another disqualification inside the UFC. I feel like we've had a lot this year. We've had the biting. Now we've got into completely unacceptable. Disqualification, I do believe, rightly deserved. Yes, win, but not the way she wanted.
Yeah, this was a weird fight all around. I thought Carnelossi was gonna do much better on the feet, but it looked like she had a lot of ring rust in there, and Pierre was straight up bullying her, very aggressive. It would look like she was about to finish the fight in round 2, scores a knockdown, gets on top. She headbutts her. Mark Smith says, watch the head, and then she headbutts her again. I don't know what she's thinking. I don't know why she thought she could headbutt her twice, but that's what she did. She deserves the consequence that she got. Sure, if we're being real, Carnelossi, there's a good chance that she was looking for a way out. I'm not one of those guys that likes to say that, but when you look at what the situation was, she was taking a hellacious beating, and then she takes a headbutt. The headbutt might have been like the straw that broke the camel's back, if you catch my drift. That was just an accumulation of damage, not just the headbutt that kind of resulted in the end of this fight. I thought she was going to finish it regardless, but she's got to learn. You can't headbutt people in 2024. This is not 1993.
Yeah, we're not UFC 1 rules. Absolutely agree. Next one, Talan Haley gets the victory against Clinton Rodriguez. The first 2 of the night actually missed, but I know Oscar didn't, so he gets to speak about them. But Alatanga Haley, he gets the victory against Clinton Rodriguez. Alatanga Haley moving back to winning ways after his loss against Chris Gutierrez. A fight that I feel like he should have won. I don't know. If you look at his wins inside the UFC, he beat Kevin Groom, Chad Helliger, Ryan Bernot, Dana Batagao. I wouldn't say the wins are, are spectacular, but I don't know. But Alatanga Haley got the win against Clinton Rodriguez. Thoughts on the performance and obviously the victory.
Yeah, this wasn't all that exciting because it appears to me that Clayton Rodriguez has a horrific ground game. It's not good. He trains with Charles Oliveira, and the jiu-jitsu is really not there. The get-up game is not there. On the feet, he's very exciting. He's very dynamic. Reminds me a little bit of Yair Rodriguez and his creativity, but it's not going to work out if you can't defend takedowns and if you can't get up. Clayton Rodriguez actually outstruck Alatanga Haley like by double the strikes, but it just didn't matter. He never stood a chance on the ground.
Yeah, Alatanga Haley getting the job done against Clayton Rodriguez. He's only losses inside the UFC. And it's a not too bad competition if you look at it in hindsight. Obviously, he lost to Chris Gutierrez and Casey Kenny, so that's not too bad loss, is it really inside the UFC? Other than that, he's 5-2 with 1 draw.
Yeah, he's had a pretty good track record of beating these low-level guys quite easily. I do think he could rise the ranks if he elevates his game. He had a competitive fight with Chris Gutierrez just last year, who main evented a fight night. So he's not that far off from potentially entering the top 15.
Yeah, as you mentioned, there are a few adjustments to be needed, maybe, and then he can compete against these guys at the top. Possibility. First fight evening was Vanessa Demopoulos versus Emily Ducote. Vanessa getting the job done. She improves to 11-5. The Greek now gets back to two fight winning streak. She beat Kaneko Morita and now Emily Ducote after losing to Karolina Kowalkiewicz. A little bit of momentum now for the Greek. She looked good. What are your thoughts on her performance as well for the
Yeah,
post-fight
after the fight, I made sure to text you. Three things are guaranteed in life: death, taxes, and Vanessa Demopoulos winning a split decision in the UFC Apex. That's what she does. This is the third time that this has happened. This is not a coincidence. She took on Jinyu Frey, wins a split decision. I thought she lost. Takes on Kanako Murata, wins a split decision. I thought she lost. Oh no, that was unanimous. That's even more egregious if you ask me. And then she took on Emily Ducote, wins a split decision, which I thought she lost. This is a real trend here in the Apex for her. So I think that she's got a style that judges like. She's reckless, but she will just swing and just go for it. That really matters to the judges. That fighters are not just sitting back trying to point fight. She's actually trying to do damage. But I thought that more damage was a little more on the side of Ducote. Ducote for me won rounds 3 and round 1. Round 1, she was able to hurt Demopoulos pretty bad. The biggest moment of the round, I thought that really superseded whatever Vanessa did in terms of volume. In round 3, it's very close on the feet, and then at the later stages of the fight, Emily Ducote is able to get some significant top control. So for me, Ducote won this fight. But Demopoulos, if she keeps on fighting fighters of this level, she could win these split decisions forever.
Yeah. She will never want the UFC to leave the Apex. She's having good success there.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the thing is, but if she were to move up in competition, it would not go well. But if she continues fighting women of that level, she's going to succeed.
Yeah, agree as well. That pretty much wraps up UFC Vegas 92. This one's going to be a really short episode. That's the recap. Just a few more things to recap. That's but for the UFC wise, that's pretty much it. I'll talk about Bellator. We'll get that on the screen right now. They had an event in Paris, Bellator Champion Series. Patchy Mix getting the nod against Magomedov. A very close fight. A fight that I felt like could have went it was that close. I thought we were gonna. I got to be honest. I thought we were going to see a new champion. Once the scorecards were going to get read. I thought Magomed had it. I don't know whether you watched it, Oscar. What are your thoughts on the scorecards? I had Magomedov winning.
Yeah, I caught it. There was some people screaming robbery that Magomedov actually had an argument to win this. At the end of the day, I kind of said that Patchy Mix would get that control time that was necessary to win, but I didn't know that Magomedov would for sure have his moments in the fight. Definitely winning some rounds on the feet. Kickboxing was looking good, but Patchy Mix has a very dominant style, and if guys can't stop it, they're gonna end up losing these close decisions. And as I said last week, I do think Patchy Mix is one of the best in the world, but Magomedov for sure can lay a claim to that. The guy has a win over Piotr Jan, so he's damn good. Yeah. And if he would go to the UFC, he would succeed just like Patchy Mix.
Yeah, I completely agree. If you look at Magomedov's only losses, Rafael Stotts, Mix, and Peter Yan. So Petr Yan. So not too bad, is it? Not too shabby. But 100% agree with Magomedov. Probably one of the best in the world as well. Outside the UFC, or if he came into the UFC, maybe top 10 material, top 5 material. Next one, co-main event of the evening was Cedric Doumbé. He returned after his incident last time out. The glass and the foot, etc. Blah blah blah. He took on Jalen Willis. This one I thought was going to be a bit of a struggle, a bit of a step up in competition. I thought Jalen Willis is very experienced in MMA, etc. Blah blah blah. He puts him away nice and early. He looked good. I feel like this was a statement from Cedric Doumbé, kind of, announcing him, not announcing himself, but that last fight, it was the splinter in the foot. It was a close fight going into that third round against Baki. So that was a fantastic fight. But he dispatched Jalen Willis, put him away nice and easy. Thoughts on Cedric Doumbé and how he looked as he improves to 6-1. He's looking really good, professional, Very, very good striker.
Dubé fought with serious aggression in this fight. I feel like he kind of understood that Jaleel Willis didn't offer much of a challenge to him in terms of speed on the feet. So he truly went for the kill as soon as he hurt Willis. He swarmed him. He emptied the gas tank looking for that finish, and that's what he got.
Yeah, 100%. Look great. Castillo Vanstinas, he got the win against Gregory Bavani. That one, obviously, I feel like was Greggy. I think it was Greggy. That was the number one contender fight, I believe. Some good fights all around. Archie Colgan, he got the great upset win in Paris. Louis Sutherland as well, unfortunately lost, but here we are. Mike Shipman got the win after the first round after Stephen Hill couldn't get out. Aspen Ladd gets back to winning ways. It's crazy to see how Aspen Ladd's come from the UFC to the BFL tournament to fight in one of the first few in Bellator now.
Yeah.
It's crazy, isn't it?
She had a main event in the UFC against Jermaine Durandamy. So to see her second fight of the night BFL is wild.
Yeah. She obviously left the UFC to go to BFL, and I wouldn't say probably not worked out for her. But she's game. If anyone falls out of that the tournament, she'll probably be willing to step in though, 100%. But yeah, that was Bellator. Patchy Mix getting the close decision over Magomed Magomedov. Cedric Doumbé getting a fantastic win against Jalen Willis. Good stuff from Doumbé. That sets up a victory. What did I say? I said watch out for Showtime Pettis. He'll be in the arena. That'd probably be a fight they're looking to make next. They made it. They're going to make it in Paris.
I love it. I think
never
it's
take
a
the
fan favorite fight.
because they got MVP in the cage. They got MVP in the cage.
Yeah. I'll never forget that when people said MVP and Doumbé was in the works. I don't know what's going on there. He was probably just trying to negotiate with the UFC, just trying to get them to sweeten the pot. That's what happened. He's in the UFC now, and it looks like a fight with Ian Machado Gary is a real possibility for UFC 303. I would love it.
Yes, every fan would love that if it went down eventually. Boxing wise, this weekend obviously there's a big card: Alexander Usyk versus Tyson Fury. Two undefeated heavyweight boxers going head to head in an undisputed heavyweight title bout for the first time. What was it? 25 years, 23 years, which is insanity. Crazy scenes. I predicted Tyson Fury would get the win. My man over here, Oscar, predicted Alexander Usyk would get the win. And on this time, Oscar, you prevail. You get the job done.
Yeah.
Alexander Usyk is an absolute animal. He might be the smaller man in that ring on the weekend, but he didn't look one bit of it. He commanded that ring. He made sure that Tyson Fury felt every bit of it. His straight, then left hand, his 1-2 is absolutely money. His left hand is absolutely sublime. One of the best boxers I've probably ever seen in my life. He's a special talent. He's a mastermind, isn't he? A fantastic performance, a special night for Alexander Usyk, and almost had Tyson Fury out there if the ref didn't save him.
Yeah, if it's not Tyson Fury in there, I feel like the referee would have waved that off. The damage was overwhelming. And Usyk showed that he can handle a big man. He already fought Anthony Joshua twice. Anthony Joshua is like just as big as Francis Ngannou, if not bigger. We always talk about how big Francis is. And Fury is even bigger than these guys. And Usyk did just fine. Usyk was able to use his footwork tremendously. He didn't let Fury just clinch him constantly and abuse him like that. Usyk proved he was the better boxer. A lot of people were counting him out being the smaller man. I thought that he would be able to keep it technical. That's what he did in there. Fury, he for sure had his moments. And if you scored the fight for Fury, I wouldn't call you crazy. Like, he really had these moments where Usyk was in trouble. He was backpedaling. He kind of lost his confidence there in a couple moments. But Usyk was able to have clearly the biggest moment of the fight, which obviously was the 10-8 round. If it weren't for the ropes, Fury would have touched the canvas for sure. And Usyk, for me, is definitely the guy I'm picking in the rematch just because of that moment. And let's hope that rematch comes together in October. We heard about Usyk having a broken jaw. I'm not sure how long it takes to recover from that, but I really hope we see a rematch here.
Yeah, 100%. And in boxing, sometimes I feel like, why do we have these rematch clauses? I'm like, I always feel like, what's the point? Like, what we doing here? Let's have the one fight and see how it goes, and then we make the rematch if it's necessary. But I'm glad we've got a rematch clause in this one because that fight was so good. I want to see it twice, and now I understand why they have rematch clauses sometimes. So two of the best heavyweights in the world that we have right now going head to head, most likely in Saudi Arabia again because that's where the money is. But yeah, fantastic fight. It was great to see. Obviously, you mentioned there both moments from both guys. Usyk almost had Fury out there. Fury hurt Usyk a few times. Yeah, man, it was a good fight. Two of the best heavyweights in the world going at it. It was a spectacle. Boxing. We love it. This is what it is. They'll go down again. And as you mentioned, I 100% agree. I will be picking Alexander Usyk in the second fight as well. I feel like what I've seen from Usyk in that first fight gives me a lot of confidence heading into that second fight that he wins against Fury again. And if not, probably knocks him out. I feel like Usyk will go in there more confident, knowing what he's been in there with, and not afraid of the challenge. He's beaten once already. I think Usyk knocks him out 100% in the second round. In the second fight.
And I hate to say it, but it kind of looks like Tyson Fury's a little weathered at this point. He's taken a crap ton of damage, and now he's showing it a little bit. If I'm being honest.
Yeah, 100%. Them fights against Deontay Wilder. But it pretty much wraps up the episode. Nothing on really this weekend, I don't think, in terms of fighting.
Really nothing significant.
Yeah, I will go and back have a look. This weekend we got the 5v5, the boxing next weekend. That's Deontay Wilder, Zhang Zhang.
Paige Van Zandt versus Al Brook.
Oh, yeah.
Who's going to miss that? That for me, fight of the year.
Yeah. We've also got Cage Warriors 172 in Newcastle. I'll be there. That'll be a fantastic event. But yeah, we've got Josh Taylor versus Jack Catterall in boxing. That'll be a good one. We've got David Ramos, obviously, then that's next week. But yeah, not too much going on in terms of MMA this weekend, unless you're watching Cage Warriors. A decent little card, actually. I'll pin it up here so everyone can see. I'm looking forward to it, and I'll tell you the fights that I'm looking forward to the most.
Hardwick back.
Yeah, we've got Harry Hardwick. We have the brothers. We've got George Hardwick, Harry Hardwick. They look very, very similar. So Harry Hardwick, he looks to get the Cage Warriors featherweight belt. His brother is the Cage Warriors lightweight champion. He fights Orlando Wilson Preens, stepping in at short notice. Harry Hardwick was meant to fight someone else. I can't remember the name of him. Zafar Musin, there you go. He was going to fight him. A really good card. If you're a local, a Newcastle local, you would love this card. We've got Jackson Clark, as you see there. He's making his professional debut. Going to be a fantastic one. He was an amateur. Looks at go into the professional ranks now. Nick Bagley, that should be a good one. Nick Bagley, under the watchful eye of Brad One Punch Pickett, UK MMA legend, great coach. Joe Fields, he makes a second fight in the professional career. He trains with the boys George Hardwick, Harry Hardwick in Middlesbrough. Make sure you catch the fight of him. He's gonna do some big things at 135 pounds. Fantastic prospect. We've got Michael Techamu as well. He's from Newcastle, under the watchful eye of Newcastle Fight Centre coach Pete. I forgot his second name. Pete Irving. So make sure you watch Michael Techamu. Got some serious power as well. So he fights Joe Ambler. Yeah, we've got Jack Humphreys as well. Fantastic IMAAF prospect. Represented England throughout the whole world, Europeans, etc. Blah blah blah. So make sure you catch Jack Humphreys. Got Bailey Gilbert, as mentioned. If you're from Newcastle, if you're a Geordie or you're from North East, this is some good fights to watch. Bailey Gilbert from the North East. Make sure you catch him. Josh Abraham, fighting out of Roker Roughhouse from the North East, fighting Aidan Lee, a very tough veteran. So that's going to be a really, really good fight. I'm looking forward to that one. Who else we got? Got Leon Hill, Kennedy Freeman. How could I forget? Kennedy Freeman. You might recognize that last name. I think I said that last time too.
Yeah.
Ian Freeman's daughter. She looks to make it 2 wins in Cage Warriors after her return back to MMA in her last fight. She made her return back to MMA after 5 years out, and then she got a first round knockout. So she makes the look at 5-0 against her opponent Libano. And I feel like she will. She's a fantastic prospect, got some heavy hands. Her opponent's going to look to test her ground game, and I'm excited to see that challenge. I'm excited to see it tested. We've got James Power as well. James Power is phenomenal, always exciting, loves to throw them leg kicks, loves to throw his hands. He's a special talent. He looks to get back to winning ways, I believe, actually. After his last fight, he suffered it. Oh, sorry, after not the last fight, not his last fight, one before that, he lost, but he looks to make it 2 wins back to back. Make sure you catch him. And obviously Harry Hardwick in the main event for the vacant featherweight championship of the world. Orlando Wilson Preen's coming at short notice, looking to upset the Newcastle crowd as Harry Hardwick from Middlesbrough looks to win the championship. It's going to be a good night. I don't know whether I've sold it to you or not, but make sure you watch it. It'll be on UFC Fight Pass. Some really, really good fights. And there isn't much MMA this weekend, so if you're going to watch something, watch the Cage Warriors.
Yeah, Power is a fantastic last name for an MMA fighter. I feel like he should have a really cool nickname. Do you know his nickname?
No, I don't. I've had him on the podcast.
Fantastic nickname for him would be Nuclear.
Nuclear Power. That's funny, actually. Yeah, James Nuclear Power. That's class. That is funny, actually. Yeah. But yeah, it's gonna be good fights. I'm looking forward to it. The Newcastle crowd as well always brings up, especially when you have local talent on there like Kennedy Freeman, etc. So it's gonna be a rowdy one this weekend. I hope Harry Hardwick gets the belt. He deserves it. And then we'll have 2 Hardwicks as brothers, featherweight and lightweight. So that'll be cool.
Yeah, but that about covers the weekend for MMA. But next month, June is very stacked, and the Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler card has a new co-main event. Jamal Hill is now taking on Carlos Ulberg. We had Khalil Roundtree test positive for a banned substance, and in steps Carlos Ulberg, Israel Adesanya's sparring partner, a guy who just got a 17-second knockout a couple weeks back. What do you make of that?
I feel like it's a huge step up for Carlos Ulberg, but one that he deserves. I feel like this is an opportunity that he's took with 2 hands. It could be. I feel like it's a big risk, big reward. If he loses, he goes, "Oh well, I took it in short notice. It's against Jamal Hill, number 1 contender in the world." If he wins, fair fucking play. He just took it in short notice, beat Jamal Hill, and as you mentioned before we went on air, probably number 1 contender now. So yeah, it's a big ask. I feel like for Carlos Ulberg, but if he wins, man, the reward is absolutely massive. So, I feel like realistically, I've got to ask myself, can he win? I feel like he can. I feel like he can knock out Jamal Hill.
Yeah.
So here we are.
Yeah, Jamal Hill doesn't offer the grappling offense that would give him issues. So I think it's a very winnable fight.
It's a very, very quick turnaround for Hill. Very, very.
Yeah, that as well is a major concern. Fighting a guy that powerful just after you got knocked out by Alex Pereira. There's a lot of unanswered questions, and they'll be answered. Also, join us next week because we're previewing UFC 302 Makhachev versus Poirier. That card is fantastic at the top. There's so many storylines surrounding that. It is Dustin Poirier's last chance at undisputed lightweight gold. Make sure to join us next week.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Oscar said, make sure you catch us next week. USA 302, Dustin Poirier is Adam Makhachev, Sean Strickland as well, Paulo Costa, Kevin Holland, Misha Olajaychik, Jalton Almeida, Alexander Romanov, Randy Brown, Alessio Zalecki, Roman Kopylov versus Cesar Almeida. That's one I'm looking forward to. I don't know why. I love to see Cesar Almeida. I'm looking forward to how he gets on. Grant Dawson, Joe Zalecki, Nico Price, Alex Morono, Mickey Gao is back. Andre Lima, the guy who got bit. I got fucking bit bonus. He takes on Mitch Raposo. He looks to make his UFC debut after he got signed on short notice. So, yeah, a really good card. I'm looking forward to that one. So make sure you watch, as Oscar said, make sure you catch us here next week, 7:30 p.m. UK time. And we'll see you then. Thank you very much. Oscar, any last sending off words before we let go?
As always, enjoy the fights if you're watching them. If not, enjoy your weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. Enjoy your weekend. Have a good one. And if you ain't got fights to watch, make sure to catch Cage Warriors 172 in Newcastle this weekend. It's going to be a fantastic show.